What's up, YouTube? I'm Brian.
And I'm Ben.
And this is Reality Brothers TV. This is actually a little bit of a solo video because it's something that pertains more to me than Ben, but Ben's here too, and we'd love to hear his input as always. But this is something that actually pertains a little bit more to me, as it's the career path I've chosen as an artist. It's something I like to do, but and I'm very passionate about, and that is the gaming industry. I have been in the gaming industry for a little over 4.5 years now. I chose to go to college and learn about how to program and make games, and since I was little, I can remember my first console was the Game Boy, actually, and I played so much Tetris, you have no idea. I must have logged over 1,000 hours in that game alone. Absolutely loved it. But to get back on subject, I keep hearing it, and I can't believe it. It makes me laugh. The audacity of people, it makes me laugh. This is the only video you're ever going to hear me defend GameStop, specifically. But I keep hearing YouTubers, I don't know if they're called Redditors, but people on Reddit, and blog posts talking about, don't buy used games at GameStop. The developers don't make any money on the used games. And I just think somebody with half a brain cell should be able to figure this out. People are on a budget, and that's just plain and simple. People will always be on some type of budget. And some people just don't have the money to drop $60 on a game, or more, because by the time they get it home, they're going to have to get all the DLC that somebody in project management decided to chop out of the game and put back in and resell in a weird way. But the subject I wanted to go ahead and cover is buying used games. So, if you're a developer, and I've done QA, I've done design, and I've now done development on games. If you're a developer, I'm putting myself in the seat of a developer, as I do at work. If you're a developer, you care about the first purchase. You care that your game was good. You care that you had a wide target audience, and if it was a narrow target audience, you made sure that they were catered to, and you just made an all-over good experience. That's how any game should be. But then you also have to remember that the gaming industry and video games are an art form. They're a chosen art form, and going into it, you may not make a lot of money. It's not something that somebody does to get rich. It's something that somebody does to be passionate about. My favorite game of all time is definitely Excitebike. I love that game. And I also love the game Asteroids. They're really simple to play. Anybody at any age limit can play it, and it's something that had good content to me. It's something I liked. But when I keep hearing about people saying, don't buy used games at GameStop, I'm not understanding the fact of them wanting the developer to get a second dividend of money from the game they already had sold through their distributor of choice, of course, because they do choose their distributors, whether you believe it or not, or hear it or not. Why, though, I can't comprehend this. When you buy something, anything, when you buy a car, when you buy a house, when you buy a computer, whatever you buy, you purchase it and then you own it. So now that you own this device, here's an example. I purchased this Nintendo 3DS. I now physically own this Nintendo 3DS. I can do whatever I want to with this 3DS. That is my choice. When it comes time and I am done with the use of this object, I no longer want this object, I will most likely sell this object. So I have purchased this. What's that?
I said hopefully not to GameStop. They'll give you 75 cents for it.
Okay, that's probably true. So I have this Nintendo 3DS, and I've purchased it with my money that I worked hard for. And I now am done with it. I can now take this 3DS and sell it to whoever I want. Should Nintendo get money from me for selling this item that they made? Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense to you? I don't understand it.
Most likely, when you sell the product, the company will get money through games that other people buy, or for instance, a car, Chevy will get money through the parts other people buy. Things like that.
Absolutely. So, why do they then need money from GameStop? When they sell a used game, GameStop should make the money on the used game that they purchased. When you take a game in, say I have this game, which this is an absolutely awesome game, by the way. This is Super Mario Sticker Star, Paper Mario Sticker Star, excuse me. And I've been having a hell of a lot of fun with it. But I take this game and I go into GameStop and I say, hey, I'm no longer in need of this game. I'd like to sell it to you guys. I then hand it to them and they say, here's an allotted amount of money. And I say thank you. Now, I take that money and I do whatever the hell I want to with it, and they take that game and they do whatever the hell they want to it, or with it, or sell it, or whatever. That is on them. But why should Nintendo or any other game company, Nintendo actually doesn't do this, of all companies, but why should any game company be able to say, when my brother sells it now, because he's done with it, they want part of his money, or they want part of my money after I sell it to him. Why? That does not make any sense. Because, and I quote...
What are you quoting from?
I'm going to put it in the comments below. I am quoting the first sale doctrine. The first sale doctrine is a legal concept playing an important role in U.S. copyright and trademark law by limiting certain rights of copyright or trademark owner. The doctrine enables the distribution chain of copyrighted products, library lending, giving video rentals, and secondary markets for copyrighted works, for example, enabling individuals to sell their legally purchased books or CDs to others. In trademark law, the same doctrine enables reselling of trademark products after the trademark holder put their products on the market. The doctrine is also referred to as right of first sale rule, or exhaustion rule. Now, I'm just not getting it. I would love you guys to put in the comments below what you think. I just wanted to give you what I think as somebody who it actually affects. I went into the gaming industry understanding that I wanted to be making games. That's what I wanted to do for a living. I absolutely am passionate about it, and that's what I chose. I didn't go into it saying, I want to make $100 million a year from making a Call of Duty title. That's not me. I went in it with an artistic approach, and I hope I never lose that. But I also hope I never get the audacity to tell somebody that once I've sold them something, I want to make a profit off of it again and again and again. It's ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. It's disrespect, and it's wrong.
I have my input on this. Actually, a lot of the things that we buy are already secondhand. Like, for instance, when a grocery store purchases a case of Coca-Cola, they purchase that from the Coca-Cola company. They then put their price on it and sell it to us. So when we buy it, our money is not going to the Coca-Cola company. It's going to the grocery store that bought it from the Coca-Cola company. So, for instance, GameStop buys a game from Nintendo or Sony or Xbox or anyone.
Well, that's where it changes a little bit. So, when you go into GameStop, the new games that they have on the shelf, they don't own. Those belong to the game companies until they sell them. They sell them as new. See, even though they open them and they put them behind, and I've seen that. I'm tired of that. Once you open it, it's used. I don't care. But right, so. Yeah. So you have the stuff on their shelf. Once they sell it, they sold it for that distributor, and the distributor makes 80% and they take 20%. And that's partially how they keep their lights on. They also keep their lights on when you take in a game that you just purchased for $40 to $60 and they give you 3 cents for it. But I respect the fact that they get that they give out that 3 cents and get games. Because you're more than welcome to take your game. It is your legal right to take your game and sell it or do whatever the hell you want to it to that first purchase copy. That's why I will always tell people, buy the physical copy. Buy the physical copy of Nintendo games. Get your cartridges. Because someday, that store won't be there to re-download it if you get a corrupt copy. I still have cartridges from my Game Boy. I still have my original Game Boy. It's still playing. So just to sum it all up, buy used games. The GameStop has to keep their doors open too. And what did you have to say? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, that's pretty much all I had to say. I buy used games. I make fucking $9 an hour. I can't afford to pay $60 for a new game.
I'm a game developer, and I buy games used. I've found some of the best games that I've ever bought have been used. I go to Goodwill's and I'll find NES cartridges, and some of them are. It's arguable whether it's actually a good game or a shitty game, and I absolutely love it. But
Okay.
that is the absolute truth. That I'll buy used games as a developer. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect the person who made the game. This is just it's ridiculous that somebody thinks that they should profit every time that first doctrine piece of media is sold. It bugs me.
Here's one. We bought Double Dribble, which is what, 23 years old now.
Yeah, when did that game come out? 1988?
Something like that.
That's a great game, by the way.
We bought it out of the used bin at Goodwill, and that was probably one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah. And I'm sure somebody's going to correct me, but I think that game was made by, was it Taito or was it Namco?
I have no idea.
But they didn't make money on the second purchase, and I'm sure when I bought it like fourth purchase. Should they still be making money then?
When does it end?
When does it end?
I'm on Reality Brother TV.
Anyways, thank you guys for listening to my rant. As somebody in the gaming industry who this actually pertains to, it does not bother me when people buy used games. Buy the used games. You know what? If my game wasn't good enough to sell the first time, it's not going to sell the used. It's not going to sell the second time used. It's not going to sell the third time because it's shit. And I hope not to put shit in the market. Thank you guys.